Well, good Monday morning, Alaska. We're going to be talking about a recap of winter 2024 and 2025. Meteorological winter officially ends February 28th, with March ushering in the start of meteorological spring. So we're going to break down for you what we've seen across the state in terms of snowfall, as well as those temperatures, and a look ahead to the week ahead. First of all, we're going to give you a live look outside here in Anchorage, where we are holding on to those mostly cloudy skies. We have seen some of those showers that have been pushing northward across inland areas of South Central. That spotty to isolated activity that is set to remain with us throughout the morning hours into the early afternoon, but the bulk of the precip today will stay confined to coastal regions. But going ahead and giving you a look at what we have been seeing when it came to our winter across the state. Looking at the overall temperature, you can see for Juneau, the capital city, we saw an average temperature of 31.2 degrees, which is roughly about a degree above average. Now, southeast didn't see any significant warmth compared to the rest of the state. As you can see, that this winter did officially go down as the 21st warmest, so really nothing to write home about. Different story in terms of snowfall for Juneau. We'll break that down for you here in a minute. Fairbanks, though, saw an average temperature of 4.1 degrees. That was about 8 degrees above average. That was enough for the 5th warmest on record. And then in Ukiavik, we did see an average temperature of negative 4.6, which was also the 5th warmest winter on record, with an average temperature of 4 degrees above average, or with the overall temperature about 4 degrees above average. For Anchorage as a whole, we saw the 6th warmest winter on record with an average temperature of 25.1 degrees. So really didn't see any significant cold that gripped the state for a large portion of the winter. Yeah, we did see a couple of weeks here and there where we were a bit on the colder side, but the overall trend for the winter season was fairly warm for a large portion of the state, and we're still holding on to those warm conditions even as we transition into March, which is the start of meteorological spring. So breaking down what we have seen when it came to the snowfall. So far this season, we've seen 31.4 inches in Anchorage, which is nearly cut in half of what we typically see through this time period. Right around this time, we should be sitting roughly at 63.4 inches of snowfall. One of the only few areas in the state that is seeing above average snowfall is through the interior. Fairbanks currently sitting at just under 58 inches of snowfall, which is slightly above average for this time of year. In fact, even with the warmth, those temperatures through the interior have managed to stay, for the most part, on the cooler side, below freezing at times, even with that above average warmth. And we're seeing a healthy snow depth in the interior. That is why we did see the official restart of the Iditarod shifting north into the interior. As far as Juneau, you can see this season we've seen just under 44 inches of snowfall, which for the most part is still roughly cut in half from what we typically see through this time period, where we should be sitting at 75.1 inches of snowfall. So a large portion of the state has been dealing with a gradual depletion in that snow this season, with the exception of the interior, which has been dealing with well above average snowfall. As far as that snow depth here in Anchorage, not impressive. I mean, we started off the season with a decent snowfall. We saw our max snow depth reach 19 inches back on November 1st. Since then, we have just been greatly melting off that snow depth, and we're still sitting at a trace amount at the National Weather Service Anchorage office, which is on Sand Lake Road, just south of the airport. Of course, large portion of South Central seeing a lack of any snow at all, but we are still holding on to an official trace. Meanwhile, through the interior, Fairbanks, it's a different story. That snow depth has been steadily increasing each month. In fact, the snow depth reached a maximum height or maximum depth of 28 inches back on December 14th. And since then, for nearly 3 months, we have seen that snow depth daily hovering right around 2 feet. And we're going to start off the official restart of the Iditarod with a snow depth on the ground right at 25 inches, which, if you remember last year, that's roughly where Anchorage was sitting. So it has been a tale of 2 different seasons when we're talking about the snowfall potential or snow that we've seen across the state. Speaking of the Iditarod, we're seeing those temperatures in the interior sitting at 16 degrees in Fairbanks. We're going to see those temperatures slowly warm throughout the day. Not expecting to see any bitter cold taking hold across the state for the foreseeable future. But you can see, yes, we still have some cool spots. 0 in Dead Horse, 7 degrees in Ukiah, Utqiagvik, Kotzebue just warmed to 8 degrees. We're still holding on to some snow across western Alaska, where we could see 1 to 4 inches here over the next couple of days. Some light snow along the slope, although the bigger concern will be those those gusty winds, which will lead to some blowing snow with those winds out of the east, upwards of 30 miles per hour. And then out towards the Aleutians, we've got northerly flow that's going to keep temperatures in the 30s. As a result, we do have some areas of wintry mix and some snow that is expected for parts of the Aleutians. Now for Adak and areas west, we do have an area of low pressure that's just south of the western Aleutians. That's going to keep some stormy conditions from Adak out towards Shemya, where we could see some winds gusting upwards of about 60 miles per hour today. So looking at the official restart of the Iditarod, you can see right around 11 a.m. we'll be hovering near 20 degrees, and those temperatures will steadily warm through the day as we top out in the mid to upper 30s for a large portion of the interior, potentially even warmer near the Alaska range, where we'll see some strong southerly winds kick in today with winds upwards of about 50 miles per hour. So not a terribly cold start to the Iditarod. In fact, for the next couple of days along the Iditarod Trail, the mushers are going to be greeted with some pleasant conditions in terms of the sunshine, those temperatures holding near freezing Tuesday and Wednesday for Tanana as well as Galena. And then what we are going to be watching in terms of the precipitation is dry conditions for at least the first half of the trail. Really, once you get beyond Galena, that's where we're going to begin to tap into some of that snowfall potential for those mushers along the trail. But for the first couple of days of the Iditarod, it's going to be fairly calm conditions with plenty of sunshine in the forecast. Those colder nights still staying with us, though, with overnight lows in the single digits and teens along the Iditarod Trail. Looking ahead, we are going to continue to hold on to rain across south central, most of that out towards coastal regions. Western Prince William Sound, southern parts of the Kenai can expect to see anywhere from 1 to 3 inches of rain through the middle of the week. Inland areas, we could see an isolated shower here or there like we've already seen this morning, but largely expected to remain on the dry side with some sunshine breaks staying with us. Now take note of what's happening out west. This is where we're going to continue to hold on to that scattered to periodic snow showers here over the next couple of days as a frontal system frontal system moves in from the south. That's going to keep that snow in the forecast. This is where we're going to see 1 to 4 inches of accumulation, nothing significant, but notice how it's really favoring western parts of the state. So that's why we're going to be talking about the first couple of days along the Iditarod Trail. It's going to be fairly quiet. It's going to be plentiful sunshine, and of course those temperatures not too terribly cold, but it could be a bit on the warmer side for today and the first part of tomorrow. But you can see western Alaska, southwest Alaska, snow, areas of wintry mix to be expected, and then notice that heavier snow across the Seward Peninsula and out towards Gamble, St. Lawrence. This is where we are going to be watching some blizzard conditions developing later this week into your Wednesday, where we could see winds gusting as high as 60 miles per hour. That will lead to some lowering visibility if you live out along the Bering Strait coast and out towards Gamble, St. Lawrence. And of course the rest of the Arctic coastline, the western Arctic coastline I should say, as well as out towards the Seward Peninsula, you've got that winter weather advisory. This is where we're going to see that chance for some of that snow accumulation and possibly some lowering visibility as well. And then that wind advisory for the eastern Alaska range, that remains in effect through today, where we could see some gusts up to 60 miles per hour. That's where we're going to hold on to some of those warmer conditions for locations nestled up against the Alaska range. And if you live in Delta Junction, Big Delta, you're also going to see some of those windy conditions, although winds likely will stay lower than about 30 to 35 miles per hour. So that's what we're going to be seeing across the state this week for Fairbanks. You can see temperatures staying fairly warm the next couple of days, about 15 degrees above average for the interior. And those temperatures do cool off by week's end. We do have some snow building back in the forecast Friday and Saturday. Nothing significant, but we will see some snow in the forecast. A reminder to remember to set those clocks forward this weekend as daylight saving time officially begins, and those temperatures will drop back off into the teens. Meanwhile, that afternoon highs across the state, again, remaining fairly warm for many areas, 4 in Utqiagvik, 2 in Dead Horse, teens and 20s out west, and of course southeast. We'll see a stretch of some quiet conditions today and tomorrow with widespread rain making a return as we welcome in the middle of the week. Here across South Central, warm weather continues as well. We've got those temperatures upper 30s, lower 40s, although today will be one of the warmer days, much like we did see yesterday. We could see a few isolated areas squeeze out a 50-degree mark. In fact, yesterday, Anchorage officially hit a brand new record high of 46 degrees. Don't think that'll happen today because we have a bit more cloud coverage, but we'll still be on the warmer side, and we're watching inland areas seeing some rain showers Wednesday night into Thursday. And unlike the rest of the state, we are going to begin to tilt towards cooler conditions as highs drop back into the mid-30s this weekend. And again, remember to set those clocks forward Saturday night into Sunday. Next week, we may see a good stretch of days where those highs will be holding near freezing. We'll give you another live look outside, where we are still holding on to those mostly cloudy skies, but again, some sunshine breaks do look possible through the day. We'll have more on that coming up in the noon show as well as in the evening newscast. For now, make sure you have a great Monday, and if you're heading to the official restart of the Iditarod, have fun out there and enjoy the sunshine.